Coffee vlog number, I guess 28. I can't remember which number of a coffee vlog this is. But anywho, let's talk about this. I haven't done those in a while, and there's so much to unpack here on this coffee vlog. And as you can see in the backyard over there, it's nice and sunny here in Florida. And we're so blessed with the weather here. We don't have to worry about the snow. We don't have to worry about the cold temperatures and stuff like that. You know, if you live in New York, if you live in other places, that's something you're going to constantly have to deal with during the winter. So what this vlog is going to be about, this coffee vlog, it's going to be about many different things, many different subjects we're going to talk about. And you know, lately I've been asked a lot of questions regarding the whole Sasquatch, Bigfoot, primate. You know, here's the thing. Obviously, you know, if you ask a scientist, scientists will tell you, well, there is no evidence, there's no DNA that these primates exist, you know, and therefore we cannot acknowledge something that it exists unless we can have the DNA and unless we can prove it, unless we can have the body, bones, stuff like that to prove that this thing exists. But I look at it a different way. I look at it a different way, just, you know, just because well, here's the way I look at it. Maybe they do have DNA. Maybe they do have the bones. Maybe they did discover and dig up the bones of the Sasquatch and Bigfoot. Maybe they do have it. How can we trust the government? You know, when was the last time you trusted the government? No, let me ask you, when was the last time you actually trusted a government official? When was the last time you trusted a politician? When was the last time the leaders of this country and other countries told you the truth? When was the last time they did that? I mean, they never told us about the Area 51. They kept it secret. And then finally in 1996, Bill Clinton, or was it 1995? Bill Clinton finally forced the naval intelligence, forced the Air Force, the Navy, to actually acknowledge the existence of this base that's north of Las Vegas. Okay, why? Because people who worked there, they were getting sick and they were dying. So they were forced to give some compensation to the families of the workers who died there, working there. They were being exposed to all sorts of chemicals and whatnot. So how can we trust government? You know, you can't trust government, in my opinion. They're not going to be honest with you 100%. Sure, they're going to be honest with the basic stuff. You know, these are the taxes you have to pay. This is what you have to pay. These are the laws we have. Stuff like that they're going to be honest about. But all this other things, they're not going to be honest with you. Why? Because, well, the history has proven that they have never been honest with us when it comes to these types of subjects. I personally had my experience with a Sasquatch. Well, at least what I thought it looked like a Sasquatch. Now, before I tell you my story, I want you to understand, looking at the research, I've been kind of researching Bigfoot quietly, not openly. The most common Sasquatch that you're going to run into is going to be 8 foot tall, like 500 pounds, long arms, dark hair, black hair, with broad shoulders, big back, you know, like a huge lats of the back, like in a V shape, long arms. You're going to run into those type of Sasquatches. Those are the most common ones, like this color, black. Okay, dark haired black. Now, looking through some of my research, looking through some trackers and hunters and trappers and hikers and my God, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of witnesses, they all keep saying the same thing, you know, that it looks, you know, like a giant king, like it looks like a 8 foot King Kong, basically. I think the best way to describe Sasquatch, it's a 8-foot King Kong, a mini King Kong walking around in the woods. And it does look like a King Kong because it does have that human features, which is the nose, the mouth, the eyes, and the structure of the Sasquatches. It's more related to us humans than it is to the apes, And this is all based on the research that I have done. This is all based on the stuff that I have researched and looked into. But then again, people are going to ask, well, where's the DNA? Where's the body? Maybe there is a body. Maybe they got one. But it's put somewhere in a freezer on some, unannounced, undisclosed base somewhere underground. Who knows, man? Who knows where they have this? Maybe it's maybe it's under your nose. Maybe it's your nearest Air Force base. Maybe it's there. You don't know. Okay? I think usually where they keep the stuff right next to you, where you're not going to look. You're not going to look next to your some military base or Air Force base next to you. You're going to look somewhere out there in remote places. I don't think they keep these things. I don't think they keep the secrets in remote places. I think they keep it under your noses. Do you know why I believe they keep all this stuff under your noses? Because you're never going to look here around you. You're never going to look around you. And that's the best place to hide something. It's in right in front of your eyes, right under your noses, is to hide something. It's right in front of you, where you're not going to look. You're not going to look here. You're going to look somewhere else out there. And that's what they want you to do. They want you to look in some remote places. But I believe that there is a body. I believe they have a body. I believe they have a DNA. And I believe they know who these beings are, how long they've been here, how long they've been roaming this planet. And the number one question is why they don't want to tell us. And I believe it's for the same reasons that they don't want to tell us about the aliens. Because aliens, if people find out about these different races, different species of aliens that exist out there in the universe, some of them are nice, some of them are not nice, some of them want to eat us, some of them, they don't like us. I think it would change the whole history. It would change the history of our beliefs. It would change the status quo. It would change dramatically a lot of different things. It would even change your religion. You would start asking about your religion. Wait a minute, then why did they never mention this? Well, actually, Bible did mention sky. They talk about the sky all the time. If you read the Bible, everything comes from the sky. So they mention the sky all the time. They never mention, hey, go deep down underground and see what's underground. They all talk about the sky, and they all point up to the sky. Okay, even Greek mythology. When you read about the Greek mythology, they're all talking about stuff they were describing coming from the sky. So I believe that's the reason they don't want to acknowledge the Bigfoot. It's because it would probably change our status quo. It would change our history, our religion. Everything would change. And the worst part is they would totally lose the trust in government. They'd be like, okay, well, why did you keep this secret from us all these years? Why keep it secret from us all these years? So it's one of those things, what I believe they're never going to acknowledge. I'm going by what I saw, and I'm going by what hundreds of thousands of people have seen. I mean, it's impossible, in my opinion, that people would go out and make up this kind of stuff. These are good, hard-working, honest individuals from Pacific Northwest Canada, even parts of Midwest, and even parts of Northeast, like upstate New York, where I have seen one, but it wasn't black hair. It was a brownish, reddish, like a brown bear type of a hair, okay? So they are out there. They are out there. I mean, they do exist. Because if they didn't exist, well, why there's so many sightings? Why there's so many people? These are good, honest, hard-working people. And, I know Joe Rogan likes to make fun of this. He likes to Mac, he likes to not what you call it. He likes to make fun of individuals who have seen these things. He likes to make us look bad. He likes to think of us as some, unfuckable people, which is really not nice things to say to individuals who have seen these things. I know he was joking. But for him to say these are very unfuckable people, well, these unfuckable people, apparently they fucked, Joe, and they have kids, they have families, okay? So they're fuckable, okay? So there's my joke to you, Joe, all right? From mocking, you're mocking good, honest. It's not cool. I mean, I like Joe. I like Joe Rogan, but come on, dude. Yes, you're a good comedian. Yes, you are very skilled mixed martial artist, okay? In judo. I think he's in judo. I think black belt judo, I don't know. So I'm not taking that away from you, Joe. I know you're a skilled mixed martial artist. I know how hard you can hit, and people should be terrified of how hard you hit. But for you to say and to mock these individuals who have seen a Bigfoot, to call them unfuckable people, it's not funny. I don't find it funny. I find it offensive. I find it disgraceful, and I find it, you should have apologized, honestly. You don't have to believe in Bigfoot, Joe. No one's asking you to believe in Sasquatch. But for you to say these are unfuckable people, apparently they are fuckable because they have families. And their families have seen the Sasquatch as well because they live in the woods. You don't live in the woods, Joe, do you? You live in the big freaking cement of a city. Los Angeles, a gigantic goddamn city. Cement. Just like New York, a cement of a city. You don't spend time in the woods. You hunt like in the suburbs of California, outskirts of, some trail camps, hiking camps, whatever. Dude, like, come on, man. You're not even a full-time hunter. These individuals, they live in these remote areas. They live and breed hunting. They live and breed tracking. They live and breed the woods. They are there. They live there. Their entire heritage of families live there. So they know forest, they know hunting, they know tracking, they know nature better than you will ever, Joe. Okay? Because they live there. These are good, honest, hardworking people. And for you to mock them, for you to call them unfuckable people, it's just shame on you, dude. What happened to you, man? I'm really like watching the Joe Rogan transition from like this supposedly open-minded guy. You have totally closed the mind. I thought you were supposed to be an open-minded guy. But I guess people change. And you changed into, I don't know, almost like a kiss ass. Like everybody who goes to your show, you want to kiss their ass. Now you're getting these celebrities. And when you start getting celebrities, you want to kiss more ass so you can get more attention. I want the old Joe back. The old Joe Rogan. I don't want this kiss-ass celebrity Hollywood la 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 land type of a Joe Rogan. Okay, and you have turned into that, man. You have slowly, gradually have turned into that. Now, I'm not here to shit on Joe. I love Joe. I watch Joe. I've been watching Joe Rogan forever. But I have to criticize him about what he said regarding individuals who have seen Sasquatch. Now, these guys finding Bigfoot, Bobo, and all these other guys, you can shit on them because they're joke. Okay, they're joke, and they're disgrace to the Bigfoot community. Okay, they're making joke of videos. They're just doing it for the money reasons. You can shit on them. But don't shit on hard, honest, good working people whom I met. I lived upstate. They worked their entire life in the woods. They have farms, and they live there. They hunt, they trap, they know nature. Their entire family lived upstate. Same thing in Pennsylvania, upstate Pennsylvania, upstate Michigan, upstate Kansas. I'm sorry. Colorado, Rocky Mountains, living upstate in Colorado, Rocky Mountains, outside Denver and outside Colorado Springs. These individuals, same thing in Washington State, outside Seattle and Olympia, out there in the and I have relatives, I have cousins living out there. So for you to shit on the good, honest, hardworking people who have seen these things, it's a total disgrace. To call them unfuckable. Anyway, so let's get back to my story. My whole point is this. Yes, the most common Sasquatch you're going to see, it's going to be 8 foot, 500 pounds, long arms, black hair. Okay, and they will throw some rocks once in a while. They'll grab some rocks and they'll throw it at you. But it depends on how you interact with them. From what I have researched is you don't want to run away from them. That's the bad idea. I didn't run away. I just stood there and froze. But don't run away from them. Because when you run away from them, they're going to think that they're going to think of you as a prey. They're going to think of you as weak. So you have to go in there and show them respect, that, hey, you do respect the nature. There's this thing called 411 where this investigator, he's a law enforcement guy, where he did an investigation where people got missing in the woods, and allegedly they're saying that the Bigfoot snatching the people, taking the people away. Now, I don't know this for a fact. If that's the case, to prove something like that, you got to have evidence that these people who were missing were abducted by Bigfoot. I'm not trying to dismiss this. It's possible. Look, just like everything, just like us humans, there's good humans, there's bad humans, there's shitty humans. So yes, just like Sasquatches, you're going to have good Sasquatches, bad Sasquatches. You can't control everything. But what I'm going by is the research and the encounters that people have encountered. So here's my story. Back in 1996, I was going through my junior year in Lake Placid. Junior year high school, Lake Placid, English class. With the English class, our teacher, McFadden, that was his name. I think it was McFadden, last name McFadden. I can't remember the first name. He wanted us to, we were trying to go on this expedition to hike on this mountain called the Hurricane Mountain. It was like a class expedition, and it was paid by the school, the Lake Placid High School, New York. Lake Placid High School. It's in a small town, Lake Placid, where they had Olympic Games in 1980s. I lived there. And the high school was right next to the arena where the skating and hockey team, beat the Russians, Soviets, and won the game. The movie was made about it called The Miracle. So the Lake Placid High School and the English class that I was in, the teacher of the English class wanted to take us on this hiking trip, to the top of the summit of Mount Hurricane. Mount Hurricane is not like a gigantic mountain. We're not climbing like some. It's not bigger than the Whiteface. It's just slightly smaller than the Whiteface mountain. So we were gonna be driven there, to go there around noon, 12 o'clock noon. The school bus was gonna drop us off at this one location, and we were supposed to meet up at 6 o'clock. Once we get down at 6 o'clock evening, we're supposed to meet up at the same location on a highway where the school bus dropped us off originally. So we got there, we split into 2 different groups, 4 and 4, basically. I was part of one group. There was me and this one guy and these 2 girls. Same thing with the other group. It was a teacher, McFadden, another guy from the class, and 2 other girls. So we split into 2 different groups. As we were going out this trail, as we were walking up this trail, you gotta remember, it would start snowing. This is during November. This is November 96, and it was Snow gets there early. Once you hit November, it's snowing in upstate New York. You're gonna get your first snow. That's a guarantee. You're gonna have snow in November, guaranteed. Sometimes you get it early. Sometimes in Halloween you get snow, your first snow. But in November, this was like November 12th, I believe, we had plenty of snow. So it was already snowing, and it was cold. Obviously, it was like I don't know, like 30, 36 degrees or 38, something like that. We were going up, and we were going up this trail, this hiking trail that we're supposed to go through. And there is this mountain has this trail. You know, the national the park rangers, they have a trail. There's a sign that says, okay, go up this trail. Don't leave any food. Don't attract the black bears. So we didn't bring in, the food has to be contained. You cannot bring any food because you're attracting black bears, you're attracting other animals, wolves, so you got to be very careful. So there's certain rules that we have to go by when we're hiking up this trail. So as we're hiking up this trail, I know this sounds funny, but I drank a lot of soda that day. And I forgot to go to the bathroom like a jackass because the school bus couldn't wait. We have to hop on a school bus. And as we were going up, hiking up this Mount Hurricane trail, I said to my class, guys, I really got to take a leak. And the girls were laughing. It's a high school. The girls are laughing. Oh, poor baby, got to why don't you take a leak here? And it's like, no. Just the usual, teenager crap that teenagers do. And I was a teenager pretty much. I didn't know nothing. See, this is the important part, guys. I didn't know nothing about Bigfoot. I didn't know nothing about the Sasquatch. I was only caring about, having a good time. I was a horny bastard. I was just chasing girls, wanted to have a good time. I thought I was a badass or whatever. I had this stupid mentality as a teenager. I thought my shit didn't stink. Well, not only did my shit stink, but it smelled. I almost shit my pants when I saw this thing. But anyway, I told my teacher, McFadden, I said, sir, I really got to take a leak. And he goes like, oh, you're killing us, man. We just got here going up this trail. And I said, I know. Why don't you guys go up? I'll catch up to you. It'll take like a couple of minutes, few minutes. Let me go down here. There's this like a little riverbank, okay? And let me just go down there. Okay, there's a little creek and there's the river that goes down. It's a fresh water, and I didn't piss in the river. Okay, I went to the bush. I went to the bushes. Like, okay, next to this this oak tree. All right, so I went down there, and I went to this bush. I walked down, obviously, and they went up a little bit. I told them I'll catch up to you. Don't worry about it. And I can see the footprints. So I went down to take a leak in the bush, next to this oak tree, tall oak tree, and a bunch of like oaks, there's tons of them. It was like a lot of forest, obviously, and a lot of bushes, a lot of forest. Some branches were broken, some trees were like put down flat, and a lot of snow on top of that. So as I'm taking a leak and everything, and just like it was a long leak, I guess, and I hear something like almost like something like making a noise of like someone like like when someone uses a sled and when the sled is moving on the snow, it was like that. It was like somebody sitting on a sled with the sled dogs and moving shh shh shh, and I hear some breaking branches like I hear this noise. I'm like, what the hell is this? What the hell is it? Really, like I hear this noise. Like I said, is this one of my groups screwing with me? My first thought was, okay, this is prank now. They want to prank me. I'm thinking, okay, they're coming down. My friend Michael probably is coming down with these couple of these other chicks. They want to prank me or something because we're teenagers and I'm sure they want to prank me and shit. So I'm thinking, okay, oh, come on, guys, like, don't do this shit to me now. I just want to take a leak, and I'm thinking that was my mindset. I'm thinking, okay, they're trying to put a prank on me, to prank me, and then I turned around, And obviously, I don't see. I say, hey, Michael, hey, Stephanie, guys, it's not cool. Come on, let me finish my leak. And then I see this, like, I would say about 10 feet away from me. There's this other tree, this other oak tree that's a very tall oak tree, and there's the bushes around there and some broken branches sitting on top of it with the snow. And I see something brownish, like a brown bear. It almost looks like a brown bear color. You've seen a brown bear, like a Kodiak bear. It has that kind of like a color, like a Kodiak bear, like a brownish reddish color. I see something moving. I was like, oh fuck, dude, is this a bear? I was like, oh my god. Now I started to worry. I was like, well, we don't have any grizzly bears up here. It's mainly black bears. I was like, but it's possible grizzlies could travel, I guess, from one location to another. So what do I know? I was a teenager, right? I had no freaking clue. My first thought, like, oh fuck, is this a bear? Jesus H Christ, like this is the last thing I need right now. Oh, dude, like I was like really like not only was I pissing now, but I'm almost like shitting myself. I was like, fuck, is this a bear? This thing started, it was like this. Okay, look at my fist. And just imagine that there's a bunch of bushes around it and snow and branches, and you see this thing moving like this. It was like moving like this, like that. Moving, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And all of a sudden I see this thing just go like this, show its back on 2 feet like that, turn around, look at me with these big red eyes, and I just froze. I just fucking froze. I mean, guys, the feeling that I had when this humanoid creature, when it stood up, at the moment you're like, you don't have time to think because your brain freezes, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And you're panicking, you're breathing heavily, and you can't catch your breath. You think you're gonna die. I thought my heart's gonna fucking burst out of my fucking chest. I was fucking scared. And this thing, let me tell you guys, when the eyes, people say, why did the eyes scare me? Because, man, the look on this thing, it looked almost like, how would I put this? Like, almost like a mean wolf. Red eyes, the way he looked at me, like the way he looked at me. And it turned around, like, very quickly turned around, and it started, like, moving down. The way this freaking creature sprinted down the riverbank into the forest with all this snow, no human in a costume would be able to do that. Let me repeat this one more time. The way this creature, this being at the time that I saw, brownish reddish hair, the way it ran, the way it sprinted down that riverbank, up to the hill, into the forest, so fast. No way in hell. I would love to see it. No way in hell that a human in costume could do that fast, without falling down. This thing was just stellar, and I was just pretty much frozen, and I was panicking. And after that, I don't even remember if I zipped my pants, dude. I was so fucking panicking. I quickly ran out to the highway where we're supposed to meet at 6 o'clock, and I was there the whole time, dude. They were looking for me. Actually, I had to go talk to principal. I had to go to see a principal because I didn't stick with the group, with a hiking group. And they were looking for me. They couldn't find me, and obviously they regrouped and they came back. And they really hated me. Listen, that day everybody hated me because I screwed up the whole hiking thing, because they were looking for me. They were gonna call the cops. They were gonna call the park rangers of New York. They were gonna call the state police just to look for me. And obviously they came to the highway to regroup, wait for the bus. and they found me. I was there, and they cussed me out, man. Even the teacher says, this is bullshit. Don't ever do this again. And I didn't tell them the truth. I couldn't tell them the truth. I couldn't tell any of my friends the truth. I had to lie. I told them that I wasn't feeling good. I was having I was nauseous. I was feeling a vertigo. I wasn't feeling good, and at the time I was really scared. So I didn't even have to act too much, because they saw obviously something was wrong with me. My eyes were like, and they knew something was up. Some of them thought that maybe I was on something. They thought maybe I was using something, and I made an excuse. I was accused, actually. That's why I went to a principal, because the principal, some people said that, oh, the reason he went down there is because he was making an excuse to use like ecstasy or something. And I got a lot of shit for that, but I told principal, no, where's the proof of that? Show me the proof. So this thing really, what it did basically, it really it scarred me for nearly 30 years. For 30 years, man. And well, I wouldn't say, well, almost like 28 years. 28 years. And man, just try to imagine what it's like to keep a secret, not to be able to talk about this, not to be able to tell your parents. I never told my father. He passed away. I never told my mother. I never told my brother. Well, now, whoever's watching this now, But I kept this secret for so many years. And this is why I get upset when someone like Joe Rogan says, these unfuckable people, when he starts mocking and dissing these hard-working, honest people. I did not ask, Joe Rogan, if you're watching this, I didn't ask to see this creature. Others didn't ask to see this creature, but they saw it. So for you to mock this, for you to shit on this, shame on you, man. Shame on you. I hope you bump into these creatures. I hope to God that you bump into one of them. I hope, Joe Rogan, that you bump into several of them. All your judo, all your mixed martial arts shit will go down the window. You're going to be scared. You're going to have panic attacks, just like I did. All right? It's easy for you to talk about it sitting in your studio in a La 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 Land in Los Angeles. Okay? I didn't ask to see this thing. I was a teenager. And I think that's the important point of this long 33-minute coffee vlog that I'm making. I didn't ask to see this. Okay? Thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of people, they never asked to see these beings. And yet our government still doesn't want to acknowledge them. And clearly they're out there. Clearly they're out there. Yes, they're difficult to track. You can't track a Sasquatch. They're the masters of the forest. They can smell you from miles away. They're the masters of the forest. You're in their territory. Okay? And I don't care what kind of fancy equipment you have. Sasquatch, you will never going to be able to track a Sasquatch unless you happen to be lucky and to caught them. They make mistakes too sometimes. They're busy doing something, and they don't pay attention, and it happens. It happens. But for the most of the time, they're very careful. They're very evasive. They know how to avoid humans. And I'm sure as hell they don't like us because they see what we do. Okay? And they know our ways. These creatures are definitely, they're not animals. They're very smart. They're very intelligent, and they're probably related to us 100%. And that's probably, I think, the reason why the government doesn't want this to leak. Because people are going to say, why is their DNA so similar to ours? What happened here? Why are we so related to them? Are we the byproduct of them? And I think that's the problem. That's the problem, and that's my opinion. But I think it's not cool that people are willing to ridicule me, to ridicule others who have seen these beings. I really hope that you see them. I really hope that you bump into them. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. It's not going to be a fun experience. But I think you need to see them. So that way you will not make fun of these beings. You're going to respect these beings. You're going to respect the forest. You're going to respect the nature. I'm talking about these cement city boys, these cement, lawyers and doctors living in a cement cubicles. All right. I know what I saw. It wasn't a bear. Okay? I know how a bear looks like. It wasn't a wolf. It wasn't a moose. I know how these animals look like. This was a humanoid. 2 legs, 2 arms, a neck and a big head and a big giant back. Hairy. 8 foot. Sprinting down the fucking riverbank, going up to the hill, disappearing into forest. During the snow. A lot of snow. During the snowfall. So anyway, there's my story. I'm sorry that it's so long, but I cannot do these videos 5 minutes, 10 minutes. This is unedited. Everything I tell you comes from my experience. So there you have it. And some people say, oh, how can we trust that you lived in Lake Placid? Well, go to the Lake Placid High School. Look me up. You'll see my photo. Go to the Lake Placid High School. You'll see me. Okay? I've been there. Okay? Shit. Main Street, Lake Placid, Saranac Lake. I even went to SUNY Plattsburgh College in 98 before I came here to Florida. I lived up there. I know what I've seen, and I know what I experienced. And I didn't ask for these things. I did not ask to see them, but I saw them. I saw one of them. And I was a teenager, okay? I was a teenager. I didn't give a shit about Sasquatch. I didn't know nothing about Sasquatch. I didn't know nothing about Bigfoot. Okay, I just wanted to have a good time. Hang out with my friends from school. Chase girls. I was a horny bastard, okay? I wanted to fool around. The last thing on my mind was a Bigfoot. Okay? So, take this story any which way you want. I'm just here to tell you what I know and what I have experienced. I don't care if people believe me, don't believe me. I don't give a rat's ass. I know who I am. I know what I've been. And I know what I have done. Okay? This is just me telling you my story. Thank you, guys. Sorry about a long video, but I hope you enjoyed this coffee vlog. Take care.